For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Israeli forces ramped up attacks across the Gaza Strip, killing 56 Palestinians and wounding another 89 in attacks including on a market in the Maghazi refugee camp over the last 24 hours. Among the dead are children, bringing the death toll to 33,899, according to Gaza's health ministry. The death toll could rise as people are still trying to access victims under the rubble. Israel blames civilian casualties on Hamas, saying its militants fight in dense urban neighborhoods. Meanwhile, Qatar's prime minister today said negotiations for peace talks and hostage swap are stumbling between Israel and Hamas. Google workers held sit-ins and protests at offices in New York, Seattle, and Sunnyvale, California to demand the company drop its $1.2 billion cloud computing contract with the Israeli military, Project Nimbus, saying it's being used to kill civilians in Gaza. Dozens sat in at the CEO of Google Cloud's office. Protesters read a statement from a Palestinian-American Google employee named Zaid.
I'm deeply distressed about Google providing technology to the Israeli government, including Google Images, which is used for target identification, with most targets ending up being civilians, according to confessions by IDF staff. I wish Google would do the right thing and pull out of Project Nimbus and restrict the use of Google technologies by the Israeli government now that we know that they are being used to kill civilians.
At least 9 were arrested by company orders, according to organizers. Google did not respond to Pacifica's request for a comment. Iran's president is warning the tiniest invasion by Israel would bring a massive and harsh response as the region braces for potential Israeli retaliation after Iran's attack over the weekend. This comes as British Foreign Secretary David Cameron said Israel is making a decision to act in response. Meanwhile, the U.S. and European Union are reportedly considering sanctions on Iran for those strikes. Russian strikes hit Ukraine north of Kiev, killing at least 14 people and wounding some 60 others, including children. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky pointed to Western allies and said the strike would not have happened if Ukraine had received enough air defense equipment and if the world's determination to counter Russian terror was also sufficient. The first 7 jurors for Donald Trump's criminal hush money trial were chosen after lawyers grilled members of the jury pool Tuesday about their social media posts, political views, and personal lives. The questioning was designed to help decide whether they could sit in fair judgment of the former president, who faces some 30 charges related to payments made to an adult film star who alleged an affair during Trump's 2016 presidential campaign that went unreported. The panelists selected include an information technology worker, an English teacher, an oncology nurse, a sales professional, a software engineer, and 2 lawyers. 11 more still need to be picked. The Supreme Court is considering a case that could upend convictions and prosecutions for the January 6th insurrection at the nation's capital in 2021. A Pennsylvania man convicted of obstruction of a congressional proceeding is challenging the obstruction law. If he wins, it could overturn obstruction convictions and guilty pleas for hundreds charged, including 2 of the charges in Trump's criminal election subversion case. Christopher Martinez reports.
Lawyer Jeffrey Green argued the case for the petitioner, former Pennsylvania police officer.
There are a host of felony and misdemeanor crimes that cover the alleged conduct. A Sarbanes-Oxley-based, Enron-driven, evidence-tampering statute is not one of them.
The law in question is part of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, passed 20 years ago in the wake of the Enron accounting scandal. It makes it a crime to destroy or conceal documents used in an official proceeding. U.S. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar argued the case for the United States, saying that the petitioner is asking the court to impose a limit on the statute.
The fundamental wrong committed by many of the rioters, including petitioner, was a deliberate attempt to stop the joint session of Congress from certifying the results of the election. That is, they obstructed Congress's work in that official proceeding.
More than 1,350 defendants have been charged with January 6th-related crimes, but of those, only 350 have been charged with obstructing an official proceeding. Among them, former President Donald Trump. Justice Brett Kavanaugh noted that the petitioner in this case, Joseph Fisher, faced 5 other counts besides obstruction, such as assault and disorderly conduct in the Capitol building.
Why aren't those 6 counts good enough
Because those counts don't fully reflect the culpability of petitioner's conduct on January 6th.
I'm Christopher Martinez.
I'm Christina Onestad reporting for Pacifica Radio.